Hello, hello, hello. It's the old git here, Mike Hall, speaking to you from sunny Spain. Today is, what is it? It's the 6th of June. Am I right? Yeah, 6th. No, it isn't. It's the 8th of June. The 8th of June, and the temperature outside right now is something like, let's have a look, about 28 degrees, and that means it's pretty hot. So, today, what we're going to do today, we're going to do something quite different. I'm going to talk about unity, getting people together. How can it be done, or can it be done, or will it never be done? Will Britain always be having some kind of trouble from somewhere and someone that doesn't agree with how we live or we lived? How can we get back to be a unified country with kids having pride in the country? How is it going to happen? Now, I just want to give you some figures to start with, just slight figures, shall we say. And I'm going to use Pakistani people, not because for any particular reason, only that they do represent a high population of Muslim people, who I find are going to be the hardest people to convince to fit in to what we want to do. Okay, so let's first talk about Pakistani people. Now, this also includes any other Muslims and Bangladeshis and whatever. But I'm using Pakistani people because I believe they will be the most difficult to bring them in. Although lots of my Pakistani friends, they've perfectly well assimilated with the British culture and they fit in. They don't drink, a lot of them. Well, they don't tell you they drink. But anyway, you understand what I'm saying. So people born in Pakistan represent one of the largest non-UK born populations in the country, with about, it's over 1.5 million people of Pakistani heritage residing in England and Wales alone. Now, Pakistani mothers are basically account for about 33,000 births in England and Wales per year. So that's quite a lot of children being born of that origin. Although, as far as I'm concerned, they're born in Britain, they should be British. But will they be brought up with British values? And what are British values? And should we all have British values? Because we live in Britain. Of course we should. Anyway. So they're sort of remaining consistently one of the most common birth countries for foreign-born parents. Now, we're going to start this off now. That's just a little forerunner to help us decide what we have to do. Okay, and the question is, of course, first of all, everything starts with our kids. How are they brought up from when they start understanding what's going on around them? How, and this is the question, are white working class kids being left behind in favour of other ethnic groups? Well, I'm afraid to say the answer is yes. Definitely they are. Now, what it is now, data consistently shows that disadvantaged white working class children, particularly boys, are being left behind in terms of education. Attaining, compared to almost all other ethnic groups. Listen to this. So they're the bottom of the league apart from a couple. And experts and policy makers, I wrote this down and I can't read my own writing, debate whether it's happening in favour of other groups, or is it a result of deeply rooted localised economic and cultural challenges. Now, well, what is it? What is it that makes, the white working class boy less successful, or less successful in every way, than other ethnic groups? Well, first of all, what ethnic groups are we actually going to be above? Well, do you know what? The only categories that consistently recording lower educational outcomes than white working class boys are Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities. Now, that sort of makes me feel a bit weird, because I thought, Britain, we have, the good schools, we have, it's compulsory, you go to school for free. You'd think there would be some academic. What's stopping white boys from progressing into the kind of things that other ethnic groups are doing? For instance, I will use Indian and Pakistani. Sorry, no, not Pakistani. I will not. I'll use Indians for example. Sikhs and Hindus and people from that type of religion seem to get on much better than anybody in actual fact. They're one of the top performers. So what is it? What's making this happen? There's lots of reasons that people and the experts put together, but you think about it. Is it geographical location? Maybe that's it. Is it geographical location? I don't know. The most depraved parts of the UK, okay, north, and all of the north, such as Blackpool and Knowsley and Grimsby, these people who live in these areas, and if you look at the circles on the map there, most depraved areas, yes. It's all, it's all north of London, isn't it? It's all up north, and on the coastal towns the industry was fishing and such like, it's gone, And I think what's happened really is that these regions have been hollowed out. What do you mean? Well, hollowed out in the way that you can get in a job market. Underfunded schools and lack of local apprenticeships. And again, look at the circles. If you can see, I'm not bothered about where you get the best jobs. They're all the best ones are in green there. And again, there's the pattern again. All the best jobs are in the south, London and the south and the southeast. Midlands and the north of England, they don't do well at all. There's number one in Scotland is Aberdeen. Well, that's exceptional, I suppose. But you see, the thing is, why is it then that it's all the people from the north generally who are missing out or underprivileged, and all the ethnic people who've joined and came to England seem to be getting on better? Now, some people, they say they like to talk about, talk about generational poverty, okay? Now, I'll leave that as it is. Generational poverty. If you look at that map, it's better than looking at me anyway. It's unlikely for the first or second generation immigrants, families who are very likely, they move to thriving urban centres, which is going to be, the southeast, east and London, yeah? And in these centres, the schools perform the highest. Why? More funding, whatever. And people say that there was a a government report, a systematically neglect, an argument, reports that the UK Parliament, which also made a report called The Forgotten, how white working class people have been let down, suggests that public terminology like white privilege has backfired. Critics argue, applying blanket of racial privilege alienates poor white communities and causes policymakers to overlook their unique hardship. Now, again, looking at this, the percentage of, these are for GCSEs in 2025, it shows you that the further north you get, the lower the grades are got, shall we say. And of course, London performing the best with all the best schools at 71%. And this brings me to what I said earlier about the people, the ethnic minorities moving into these areas and white people being further north. So two-tier government it is, that's what I see. Now, what's the answer, you might ask? Well, you might have to watch my ugly face again, but what is the answer? And what is the solution? Let's have a look together. I think that what we need is more powerful together individual. We are much more powerful as together than you are as an individual. And we need to push that. We need to push that philosophy. And how do we make it work? How do we make it work? And how do we make it so that everybody gels? How can we equal things out and break the cycle of them and us and start to produce a strong, undivided, cultural, together society? Well, the old GETS solution. You're going to get it whether you like it or not, so you better start listening. So, this is what the old GET thinks should be done, and my solution starts to build back our country. Okay? Are you listening, all you people out there? First of all, okay, we've got to look at education. Now, I believe that this is the first base where things start to go wrong. So I believe that all pupils will attend classes in maths in every form, economics, finance, budgeting, that kind of thing, whatever it is, science, English, that's reading, writing and literature, British history, geography and music. Those academics, those are subjects to make children academically clever. And also, no history of other places should be taught, because I'll come on to when that can be done later. Children need to be brought up in a proud way. They need to come into school in the morning right up until they leave for university or college. Those should be the main subjects that are taught. Don't give me this mamby-pamby, you can teach them woodwork if you want, that's fine. You can teach home economics to girls. Is that sexist? Maybe it is, I don't care. But I'm saying those subjects should be. And also, I believe that, to relieve the boredom, you can have music classes. Children like to play instruments, like to prance about and dance, or music and dance, for example, to help keep the fitness. But I believe physical exercise is most important to stop our children being lazy, lethargic and tired. PE, physical education, should be mandatory for all, including teachers. Teachers should take part in physical education, okay? Also, by getting involved in sports and physical education, you can set up competition. Now, there should be winners and there should be losers, because in life there's winners and losers. And we need to teach our children there's no shame in losing, but there's shame in not taking part. We give them the morals as well. So they want to win. If they don't win, they'll shake the hand of the winner. Okay? The other thing that I would ban from state schools, and all schools as far as I'm concerned, is Christianity. Okay? No, I don't really mean that. I mean religious education. Christianity could be taught in school, but it's not mandatory to attend the classes. But that should be the only religion because, let's face it, Britain is a Christian country. So it stands to reason that the schools should teach Christianity. But, some parents might want their children not to learn, so they can not take part if they don't want to. Okay. The other thing that I believe as well, while we're on the subject of religion, the other religions, as far as I'm concerned, are the responsibility of parents after school, weekends. Teach them all your culture and whatever it is. But when they're in school, they are all the same. Okay, I will not, for me, if I was ruling the world right now, there would be no other religion taught in schools apart from the religion that the country is built on. Its laws are built on it, everything's built on this Christianity. So, just let me tell you now, I don't go to church and I don't follow any religion. That's my choice. Okay? So, it's not that I'm biased for Christian. I believe that the Christian country should have Christian teachings. Okay? Alright. So, we've covered that bit. So, we're getting there now. We're going to solve these problems. Uniforms must be worn, no exceptions, with no extra adornments. That means no face covering, no veils. No, they go to school in the uniform that everybody wears and everybody is the same. Okay? No ifs, no buts, no wherefores. You will follow the rules. And the rules are, this is your uniform, this is the uniform that you wear. And I know it's strict, but we're talking up until the end of secondary school. So what I'm trying to say is the object of school for children is to provide an academic education. No diversity, no trans discussions, no racism against any other person or group or in schools. You are at this stage pupils. Okay? Which will carry you in good stead. You'll have a really good grounding in everything you need to get on for the next stage of your life. Well, what is the next stage? Well, the next stage in my world is that you have to serve the country. And this will be mandatory again. And it's a form of national service for 15 to 17 years. So when you're 15, you will leave school, and what will happen then? You'll go to the next stage, right? And the next stage is 16 weeks of and it's all done like in a military style way. You know, you go to a barracks, you go in, again, you get a different uniform. At the gates, you leave your religion, okay? 16 weeks of team building will mainly concentrate on discipline, similar to the military basic training, fitness, problem solving, that kind of thing, like it says there on that little graphic. Now, during this particular training, you will be assessed. You're going to be assessed. And specialists will watch you and look at you and, they'll say, this man's fit for whatever job it's going to be. You become, at the end of this, so you've done lots of academic training, and you've done problem solving, and you've done camaraderie because you've had to live with your group. And during all this time you've been doing this, you're being watched by specialists who look at your abilities and help you to forge your career. Where do you want to go from here? Now, during this time when the specialists are doing you'll be known not as pupils anymore. You will be known as interns until you've finished your first part of the training. I basically say that you should do 2 years, because it doesn't just involve, it's not to do with military, it's to do with your character building and getting you into the marketplace, getting used to working with other people, because the environment when you leave school changes. Which brings us to stage 3. The interns will then become trainees. Now, what do the trainees have to do? Trainees, by the time, this time you'll be directed to courses which they have chosen with your help, with the help of the specialists who have been helping you all the way through. And the placement should reflect the trainees' abilities, and the expected skills will be taught to trainees to follow the career path they've chosen, which I think is the right thing to do. And that's your first weeks, or whatever, 16 weeks or whatever it is, doing your physical and getting you up to scratch. The rest of the year, the first year, be working and learning and giving you the basis of the trade that you've decided to go into, within the trades and industries which also include government jobs and further education and tech and AI, and all the things that you think you want to follow will be available to you because you will have done a great grounding at school. But there's also, and I must say, once you've done this training and if you've enjoyed it and you want to stay in this type of environment, there's also, you can sort of move on and carry on and go into the military. Now, the Army and the Navy and the Air Force will be a career path offered in with all the other career paths. Because military jobs cover many sectors of industry, which can convert to civilian jobs when you leave. So it's another path. Okay? And also, at that as well, the second year and your placements with positive employers and passing out ceremony will be at the end of the second year, and by military aware qualifications, awards given, trade, everything, all the things that you've worked for you'll get, And at the end of your second year, you will have those qualifications in your hand. You will have passed. You will have done what you want. You've been grounded in a good education. You are ready for the workplace because you're already starting to train within your career path, which is brilliant. Now, just before we move on, or we get to the end of this, so I'm not going to make it too long, okay. College and university, yes, those options will still be there. If that's how you and your specialist feel there's the way you want to go, you'll still be able to do that. But one course that I will insist that will be set up, because I'm fed up of people running the country who've got absolutely no qualifications, have no training in anything, and then it's turned up and look, I'm now an MP, but I don't know anything. So there's one course. All the other courses will be offered like normal, whatever course you want to do, if you are suitable for it. Will be this will be a mandatory course. If you want a job in politics, you'll have to take this course, and it'll cover all aspects of British political life, history, procedure, everything you would need to know to walk through the doors of the House of Commons as an MP. If you haven't got that, and you don't apply for that, and if you don't want that, then you'll never be an MP. I think there'll be an option to take the course, and I don't know how long it would be, later on in life maybe. but you will have to do it before you could stand for any public office. That would be what I would say. Anyway, we've covered that. Now, finally, I hope I've solved. Look at that! I've solved the world's problem. No, I've solved England's problem. We need to get ourselves back as a country to be proud of. Irrespective of your religion or your race, your colour, you will be housed according to your career path whilst you're training. And when you are in these, this is what I want to say about people, can Christians pray? No. When you become a trainee, and you will still be under the auspices of the government, multi-prayer rooms will be provided, but no organised services. They are to be used for personal praying only. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because when you obviously have your time off, you can go to the local mosque or Gurdwara or temple or wherever it is you do your worshipping. But during the time you're at the training scheme, you will not indulge in organised prayers. Neither will Christian kids. They will go to the prayer room and pray if they want. But at the weekend or on a Sunday when they will go to their own church. And this way, people then keep to their own religion, okay? And that's what we want them to do, want them to keep with their own religion. And but we want you to be involved in our culture and our way and become proud of being British. Being British, Welsh or Scottish, whichever you decide or wherever you live. But these courses will be mandatory for everybody. Okay? Now, understand you are serving your country and you are giving back to your country that has given you everything. Your education, your health, your everything you get in the UK. You now have to pay back. And this is the time when you pay back. So people who disrupt this system, and I'm coming to this, will be sent to boot camps where life will be not so pleasant for a few weeks, and then you'll be sent back to your course. And the few weeks that you've done, there goes the phone as normal. The few weeks that you've done at the boot camp is added on to the end of your course. So the longer you're bad, the more times you'll get sent back. Okay? But we will bring you out a success in the end. That's it. That's what I'm going to do for you and everybody else who I forgot to put that up, see, because I was saying college and university is still available. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do today. All I want to do today is let's get England and make it a great country again like it was when I was a kid. You know, I remember, and I'm going to say this outright to you now, when years and years ago, when a lot of people from West Indies and Jamaica came to the UK, and they came to live in an area where I lived, and we all got on. Now this is quite true what I'm going to say now. And they used to run up the street shouting, you're calling your names, Chalky White, what are you doing? And we wouldn't use the other word that they used to each other, because even then we didn't like that word, but we call them, oi, you know, the bad things, the worst ones were things like, hey, Stambo, well that was bad. Or was it bad? Because they used to laugh and call me worse. And we got along, and it was just a joke, and nobody meant anything. Nobody got upset about anything. You know, you give and take, and we had a great life. Then, the Toxteth, probably people won't even know, but Toxteth riots came along, and we watched it on TV. And we were watching it. There was me and 5 of my mates, Linton Solomon and Leroy and there's I can't remember the other names. It was 5 of us. And we were watching this thing about race riots, about what's going on. They didn't know what it was about. Neither did I. Oh, strange stuff. Oh well. But suddenly, within weeks, the whole atmosphere changed. The media had blown up this great thing about them and us and black and white and all from that. For me, that's when it all changed. And my friends were still my friend, but they were more standoffish, and they didn't use the words. They still called each other the words, but not. But they still called me jerky white or whatever it was, and I didn't mind. So what? They were my friends. This is where it went wrong for me, and we've got to get back to that. I don't mean you go around insulting everybody. It's something that British people have always done, even before immigration. We've all, you'd say something about a Scotsman, or a Scotsman would say something about an Englishman. It was all banter. They didn't kill each other over it anyway. Okay, so that's a little story from my history, but this is why I find it so sad. So sad. I remember when the first, I know I'm rambling on, when the first Asians moved in over where I'm from, Stoke-on-Trent, yeah. And the ladies were afraid of the kitchens with the cookers, and they used to cook out in the garden or the backyard. It was so funny. But then you'd be invited in for something to eat. It was different then. What's happened now? I don't know. Let's get back to that, folks. Let's work together and get it all back on track. Forget Keir Starmer and Barbie Starmer and all these people that keep the divisions going. And they keep the divisions going because it keeps us quiet. We've got to stop being quiet. We know what we want. Okay? So that's all from the old Get Right Now. Hopefully, I will see you very, very soon. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, if you like it, if you have a comment or anything to say about it, there they are. bestbefore.tv@gmail.com. It's X, it's best before T. And you can go watch the television on www.bestbeforetv. The website, yes, bestbeforetv.com, and there's television programs, vintage television programs on there, 24 hours a day as well. Okay, and you can also watch me on Rumble, Retro TV, or Best Before TV. Just look for that on Rumble, or on Facebook. No, not Facebook, the other one. Oh yeah, on Facebook and on YouTube. That's all for now. Have a great time. Take care of yourselves, and please, 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 do not let everybody get you down. What we need now is to get on with everything, and I've lost my page, but who cares? So there we go. I forgot. Just talk about stuff now. All right, I'm gone. See you next time. Have a great day.